Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Time for Mental Health. Time for Mental Health podcast is a podcast where we aim to normalize the sharing of mental health experiences. I'm your host Fabian and today we'll be joined by Talya, co-founder of Huddle Humans. Viaano, founder of Huddle Humans. And today we're missing Keegan. Actually Keegan is behind the camera. He's the producer. He has taken a back role
for this episode.
And we have a special guest today. It's actually my friend Ivan. Ivan is... No, sorry.
My name is Ivan. I'm Fabian's friend from work. Yeah, I'm currently 22 this year. And I'm currently pursuing a postgrad diploma in counselling psychology in
School of Allied Educators.
Yes.
So Ivan, tell us more about yourself. I understand that recently you went for a run. You did an 18-kilometer run. Maybe you want to share more about that, if you wish to.
Just to commemorate my NS service to my unit 2SIR, because my OC, he actually invited me to join this challenge, to commemorate it. Yeah, so I did my best. And
18 kilometers is no joke. I think the three of us here.
I never did even more than 12 kilometers myself. Yeah, so also a big deal for me.
That's an amazing achievement actually.
12 is still a lot.
Yeah,
so you ran alone or?
Yeah, I ran alone. But every round is about 4.3. So I take a short break, like water break in between, yeah.
So you ran around Bedok Reservoir?
Yeah.
So how many rounds do you have to do?
My math not that good. But around 4. Around 4 plus.
4 plus, yeah.
Like how long did you take?
A little bit more than 2 hours. Yeah.
2 hours only?
Yeah.
For 18 km.
That's actually a really very fast pace. Really.
Thank you.
No problem.
Wow.
So, on a more serious note, what made you want to become a counsellor or take this path to become a counsellor?
Actually started also in NS, where I didn't have any goals in life. I didn't know what to do when I ORD. So my friend actually recommended me to do a personality test. Yeah, then to find out which career aspect I'm suitable to go into. Yeah, and then counselor was like one of them. And then I find it quite relatable as like in my group of friends, I will always be the one that maybe listen to their troubles. Yeah, and I'm actually quite motivated myself because as a teenager, I didn't know what to do. So I hope that I could seek help from someone. And that motivated me to take up counselling, and I wish to pursue to become a student counsellor. Yeah, to motivate them. Yeah.
That's actually
wonderful.
Yeah, very meaningful.
But I gotta say, like, being a counsellor is different than let's say a career guidance for a student. That's a different thing, Yeah, I know that. Yeah.
Maybe you can explain the difference. Is there like what difference is there?
I think a career guidance is just you see what a student's qualities, what maybe subjects he likes or what he is best at, then you are able to suggest him what path to take or what jobs are suitable. In big contrast to a counsellor is you go deep down into intrapsychic mental health. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Different kind of. Yeah.
What is intrapsychic?
It's like one person. Yeah, one person.
Okay. So our next question, Ivan and I are friends, so we've talked about this sometimes. We share information. I understand that when you enroll in this school of allied educators, right, you learn this certain code of ethics.
Yeah.
Code of ethics, right?
Yeah.
So maybe you can share one of the most important, or say one of the most
Resonate
with you. Yes.
So this code of ethics is abide by the SAC, which is the Singapore Association of Counselling.
Okay.
And then you have to be SAC registered to, let's say, get a job in MOE or be a private work in the private sector or whatever. And then there are many code of ethics under there. There are general conduct, there are confidentiality. And what most resonates to me is, I think, general conduct, because as a counselor, you have to be very aware of your own values. Yeah, and then one of it is values imposition, where you have to be fully understandable and very open. You don't judge in terms of their background, their religion, their sex. Yeah, so I think it's a very huge code of ethics. Yeah,
Something that really resonates well with you lah.
yeah, that you have to be embedded with lah. Yeah.
This is a question. So in this code of ethics, what do you call it? Was it SEA again?
SAC.
SAC.
Yeah.
So under this code of ethics, which is under SAC, are there any core values inside this code of ethics?
This code of ethics is a conduct which a group of members do. So there are different sets of code of ethics in MOE. There are different sets of code of ethics in your company. Yeah, it's just a rule set by the group of people for the general staff in the company to abide to. Yeah, so let's say for counseling, right? There are certain boundaries you have to not cross. Yeah, let's say you counsel your own family members, or you counsel some acquaintance that you know. Yeah, it's not right, because there are people who tend to have like what I say, values imposition, where you are close to this person and you have certain set of goals you want him to become. Yeah, that would in fact like disrupt the flow, and you're not really helping the person by listening to that person or looking into what's really good for him. Yeah, so there are a lot of code of ethics. Yeah.
One last question. Previously we have joked about this during work. We have a lot of free time and we always joke about it. Sometimes I go to smoke and
We still do our work lah, right?
lunch breaks. So there's this scenario where you sometimes would give advice as a friend versus giving advice as a counselor. Let's put this scenario into a person who's smoking. Let's say your friend. So as a counselor, how would you advise your friend who's a smoker? And how would you advise your friend as a friend of him about smoking?
Yeah, first off, you can't counsel your friend lah.
Okay.
Yeah, then if you, let's say, have a friend who is a smoker that wants to quit, unprofessionally, you would like to just be there for him. And because in a certain way, he has maybe deep down some issues that he picked up smoking, which you can't dive deep down into it, because
Still a friend after all.
he might have like certain bias, and like, let's say he's afraid of you being judgmental of him when he actually tells you what the reason. Yeah, so there are certain restrictions that don't allow you to really help him in a sense.
Alright.
Yeah, so what you can do is be there for him and just make sure he keeps going. And if it doesn't end well, like the way he wishes, it's fine too, because you are there for him. That's the primary role of being a friend,
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a very good point there.
There's a different dynamic between a professional and a status as a friend.
Yes.
And in counseling wise, the best type of counseling towards smokers are group therapy, because you're surrounded by similar individuals that want to quit smoking, and then they are very relatable and they have a common goal, which allows the person to feel like, oh, they are not alone, and they can work on things together, they can see improvements together, and they can feel for each other's. Yeah.
Just like something we have something called Alcoholic Anonymous.
Yeah.
In Singapore.
So like peer support groups, a social cultural approach.
Yeah.
You feel more motivated, and
Yeah.
people are in the same situation as you. You can resonate with them, and you work towards a recovery or therapeutic phase.
Yeah.
I just want to put one question out for Ivan, and offhand, and you just have this is just a question, an answer that I want to do this question, and I don't know if you agree with it, so I wanted to know what you think about it. So I've not studied counselling. I mean, I've done counselling modules, but from the counsellors that I've met, both in Singapore and Australia, there's this sentence that interests me. They say that, it's not the counsellor's job to solve the problem. It's not the counsellor's job to fix your problem, but it's the counsellor's job, to be there alongside you, to listen, to guide. What do you think about that?
It's very, very true. What we learn is we don't have the answers to anything, to all the solutions. We are not answers. And what we do is we strive to give the individual a state of mind and allow the individual to lead his own life in his own hands. Yeah, and what we do is we just make the steps for them, and we are there to always listen to them. Yeah, not telling them what to do and not being ahead of them. We let them lead their own way, and we follow slowly at the back.
Right.
Yeah.
I think Ivan has provided us a very good general overview of how being a counsellor is, and what you should kind of expect, or what you can expect from visiting a counsellor or going to a counsellor, as opposed to friends. So thank you, Ivan, for this sharing, and thank you for being a guest on the show. I will be moving on to our second section of the show. We'll be taking suggestions about topics to discuss on in Discord channels or whatever available channels that we have our platforms.
Nice.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. Anything else you want to say before we change sections?
No, it's very good. Yeah, it's very interesting to hear this firsthand from a counsellor also. And yeah, I mean, I studied psychology, so yeah, I studied in Australia, so we have like a code of ethics, but I think there's 7 values also, like respect, confidentiality, integrity. Yeah, I can't remember it all but
SAF core values.
Stand by universe. Next session. Stand by universe.
Yeah.
Okay. That continue.
But yeah. I mean, I totally agree with the whole boundary that we need, like as a friend versus a counsellor. Because like for me also, I had a lot of friends in the past that would come and tell me their problems, kind of thing. And like, I think after a while, I gave advice a lot and all that. But after a while, my friends, like some of them started saying like, I feel like you're more like a counsellor than a friend. And I realized that, I think as a friend, you are there to like love them rather than fix them, kind of thing. And then like, as a counsellor, is
kind of like path like the way, pave the way for them.
Yeah.
Let them see the.
Yeah. So yeah, it's very interesting to have all these code of ethics in place also. Yeah.
Okay, moving along. Our first topic to be discussed on this channel by a viewer's suggestion in Discord is about self-esteem. So I think everyone can agree. We're just going to lay out this very general self-esteem definition. It's about how we value ourselves and how we perceive ourselves. Is everybody aligned with that?
Yeah. Where we place our worth. Our worth. Yeah.
So the viewer actually mentioned three topics: self-esteem, confidence, and chronic fatigue syndrome. I think we can kind of go self-esteem and confidence together, because I think having high self-esteem, or not say high, but as in a generally good amount of self-esteem, will co-align or correlate with your confidence level. How do we then like increase our self-esteem or like self-worth? I think some of the ways we can do is like we can accept how we are as individuals. Like for me, I have Tourette's, right? So sometimes in the past I can feel a little bit, it can be a little bit daunting. Others look at you, or like how you see yourself having like this motor tics. Sometimes these things get into your mind. But as humans, negativity gets into our minds, it eats us. But not all the time. So if it eats us for some day, yes, we are humans. But every day, maybe it's more like mindset thing.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. I think it's about like where we place our worth also. Like if we place our worth on like our work, for example, then like if we don't do well in our work, or if we like fail to do something, then our self-esteem will drop also. So it's I think identifying like what your gifts and strengths are, and also knowing like you are, your worth is not placed on all these things, but on just being a human itself, I think. And like there are many gifts that like people don't really see that we can see ourselves, like because I think usually people like see your worth based on like how good you can do something or something like that, but then like there's things like how nurturing am I of a person, or like how like just very natural things lah, like but yeah, I mean I think like not placing our worth on like things that like are temporary and like can go away, that type of thing. And self-care lah, and like being comfortable with yourself as you are also. Yeah.
So also on the topic of self-care, there's something called the locus. Locus of control, right?
External and internal locus of control. Yeah.
What do you think about that? To me, like, it's generally viewed, or like studies kind of show that locus of control, like internal ones, where you find like you have control over the outcome of certain events. It kind of helps if you have that kind of mindset. The internal locus of control kind of helps in your self-esteem and confidence.
Oh yeah.
Any thoughts about?
So wait, so external is when
It's where you don't think that you have no control. You think that you have no control over the outcome of events surrounding yourself.
So like external things are in control of you, kind of thing. Right. Yeah, I think it goes back to what we place our worth on also, because like if it's external locus of control where we are affected by external things, then like if that external thing fails us, like if we have a bad day or something like that, then it's then if that affects us, like, oh, I can't do anything about it, like, oh, like I'm putting the blame on the day and like how this is going, rather than like what I can do to cope with this day or something like that, then
like letting other things control you. Understand? I agree with your point. So one thing that I used to do, like I used to not wear things that I like, for certain reasons. I don't know why lah. I just don't wear, like, sometimes I like the cool jackets and stuff, or like dyeing my hair. Then I kind of don't do them. I don't know why. It's like self-esteem. Like, I don't want to be comfortable in that thing.
Wait, so
I like doing
that. You like the thought of doing it, but you don't do it.
I like doing it and I like the thought of it, but I don't want to do it.
But do you do it? In the end, do you do it?
Nowadays
I get what you mean. Like you don't want to like be noticed too much, or like you feel like you can't pull it off.
You like
or
the thought
like
of doing it. You like to do it, but you don't like to do it because of outside perception of you.
Yeah.
But you think it's a good idea for yourself.
I don't think it's a good idea for myself, but I just don't feel comfortable enough that I can wear this or like pull this off, or like.
I see. And that comes back to self-esteem.
Yeah, right? And confidence also.
It's how you perceive yourself. Yeah. And in this case, how you perceive yourself wearing these cool jackets and stuff like that. You think you might not be able to pull it off. Yeah. So, yeah.
I think one thing that really helped for me to build this up on the way is like just planning my own room. planning the work area that I'm at, making sure that it is the way that I want it to be.
Yeah.
So I have like small control over like certain things that I slowly build it up. Yeah. How about your ways of like controlling or ways of increasing your confidence, self-esteem?
I think a huge part of the self-esteem that everyone, think too much, right, is maybe in the context of society.
Okay.
Yeah, where, like social media, people post only maybe photos of themselves being happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, which, those people with low self-esteem would automatically be, like, wow, I wish I could live a life like that. Yeah, but not everyone is the same. And you have to know what is the right mindset to have. Yeah. And if you're a person that, likes to show off or, buy new things and buy expensive stuff, it's okay. It's up to you. It's not everyone is the same, like I said. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
I think like if you place your value on like, your likes or your followers or being better than someone else, and then that's when your self-esteem will be based on I think in that case
external,
I guess it's like external locus or control already, because your self-esteem is based on like the external, like comparing to others and like whether you're better than others, then that is very fragile already, because like your worth is like based on all these things that's like not actually you. Then like, can you really like find yourself properly in that sense? So I think it's really important to know like that your worth is in yourself lah.
Totally agree.
Okay, so back to the topic of self-esteem. I think what Talya has mentioned, Fabian's mentioned, and especially what Ivan has mentioned regarding societal expectations and societal norms. I think myself, when it comes to self-esteem, I'd like to share a personal experience. I mean, back then, when I was in my teenager years, back in secondary school, I think I developed this. There was this period of time where I had like this inferiority complex. My self-esteem was really low. I felt like I couldn't do anything. I felt like anything I do was deemed, useless. So I guess just a very short one, how I came out of that short phase. It wasn't really that long, but that short phase is how I got out of that was that I had a goal. I developed a goal, and I figured out, or I tried to find out what are the steps to reach this goal. This goal is what I want to do, what I want to be. And, discovering those steps, researching, discovering, knowing what I have to do, and reaching those, mini milestones to reach the ultimate goal is what helped me develop and what helped me boost my confidence each and every way. And I think that is what helps me. So just a small suggestion, if you don't know what to do, it's okay, it's at your own pace. Just figure out slowly, and once you know that you have that goal in mind, figure out what are the steps that you have to take to reach that goal, and then slowly along the way, when you hit all these milestones, your confidence will grow, the way you perceive yourself will be better, your self-esteem will grow. So yeah, that's from me.
Right. I think to add on, right, having a goal itself is also kind of like a society pressure on you, because it's okay to not have a goal. Yeah, but the society sometimes deem that if you do not have a goal, means you're not good enough.
It's like a fine line, or whether understanding whether the goal is put on you as a pressure, or really you find out yourself that you want this goal.
So there is that nuance, is whether the goal that you have is pressured by society, or is this a goal that you actually want to achieve yourself? So there's the difference.
Yep.
So it's up to you to figure that out, what that goal is. If you don't have a goal, that's fine. I mean, if you're feeling good, you're about yourself, you don't have to go. That's perfectly fine, like what Ivan has mentioned. But I mean, if you don't know what you're doing, and that's why I said pace yourself until you realize, or you suddenly, okay, you wake up, I want to be this, I want to do that. But that is a goal that is defined by you, not by society. So
Yeah.
that is an important nuance that Ivan has brought up, which is very relatable, very relevant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it's like if your worth is based on like achieving that goal, then if you fail to achieve that goal, then like that's where the issue is.
Right.
lah.
Right.
But I think it does really help to it does really help self-esteem when we like do something, when we act on something, and like for example like just like cooking or making art, like when you like see that your like something in you like has created something,
Mini achievements,
yeah,
mini
some,
accomplishments.
yeah, some little accomplishment. I think maybe that gives us some sense of purpose or something like that raises our self-esteem.
Doesn't have to be like a world-changing kind of goal. Even the small
Little
achievements,
things, yeah.
getting out of bed, this kind of thing, can really
Yeah.
improve your self-esteem. Yeah.
Moving along, we've come to the last part of our last suggestion from a viewer also. It's about he wants to know our MBTI personality test. So lucky you, all of us have done a MBTI test through this website called 16personalities.com, I believe. And we did all the same tests, so we can kind of like standardize, and we'll discuss whether the test is effective or useful. In some ways, we'll kind of discuss it. So I'll go ahead first. I did the test. There'll be this, you can see the rows over here. I got an INFP-T. Yeah. How about the rest of you?
Yeah, I got INFP also. I think it's -T. Let me check. You got it.
I got INFJ
Oh.
Dash.
INFJ.
A. Yeah.
How about you?
Oh,
Yourself?
I got INFP, I think. Same. Was it INFP?
INFP, yeah.
But mine is -A, so I'm not -T.
So what's this?
Yeah, I
what's
got
this?
-T.
What's this dash thing? So basically, the MBTI test is called the Meyer. I think I might butcher his name. Meyer-Briggs, right? Test
It's actually a
inventory.
mom and her daughter. So
really?
Maya is actually the mom and her daughter is Briggs. Yeah, apparently.
Okay, so I'll just go ahead. Since three of us are INFP and this special one is INFJ, I'll go ahead and start with INFP first. Actually, just go ahead and discuss what are four quadrants.
Wait, I shared the INFP first on a overall outlook.
Sure.
Since the three of us are INFP, right? So okay,
Just T and J.
just a very short one. So
Yeah.
INFPs are known for their sensitivity, the gift of empathy, and for speaking the truth. So people with this kind of personality tend to be introverted, passionate, creative, and driven by high values. And furthermore, INFPs can be very stoic, brave, and chivalrous at times. They willingly help the helpless and often sacrifice themselves in the process in order to stick by their code. For them, it's really no man left behind. And this is because INFPs are true humanitarians. I'm not trying to toot our own horns, but this is from the website description itself, yeah.
So INFJ, just a quick, brief description about INFJ.
An advocate is someone with the introverted, intuitive, feeling, and judging personality traits. They tend to approach life with deep thoughts, thoughtfulness, and imagination. Their inner vision, personal values, and a quiet, principled version of humanism guide them in all things.
So basically, there are many INFP all the way to like ENFJ. Yeah, a lot
Depending
of,
on which spectrum you are. lah.
Yeah. So how do you find the questions of the test? Like, do you think the test is one question. Have you guys done the test before? Like
Yes.
prior to this?
2 years
yeah,
ago.
I think, yeah.
Do you guys get the same results as the previous test or?
Yeah, I got the same result. I took the test I think there was only one time that I got ENFP instead of INFP.
Okay.
Like it's just the extrovert. I think depend on my mood also lah. I don't know leh. But then
Interesting.
most of the time I get INFP lah. Yeah. And I meet so many people with INFP.
Oh, wow.
Like, so
Night.
For yourself, you got the same, right, Ivan? INFJ.
Yeah, but you can actually look at the percentage difference on the website.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. And for you? Have you done it?
I believe so. It's always around the diplomat traits, diplomatic traits.
I used to do and I got INFJ. Now when I do it, I get INFP.
Interesting, yeah. That shows that
There
at
is
different
a-
points of our life, we
Yeah, it
may
does
change.
change.
We
Yes.
may change.
Right. So like for personality, I think it's a amalgamation or the accumulation of different experiences or what what you've gone through in life, emotionally, mentally, physically, socially, and all these factors, like, they come together and it becomes your personality. So I guess personality, it changes over time. It may not change. I mean, multiple theories about it. So back to the MBTI test, we like to discuss whether the MBTI test is really test for personality or not.
So I mean, so I did a bit of research lah. So actually, according to psychologists and people who researchers and all that, they actually say it's not good. Like, they say
Why?
So they say according to psychometric measurements, psychometric standards, it doesn't meet the standards. So there's this thing called test, retest, reliability, and validity.
Wow.
So test, retest, reliability is when is it do you get the same results when you take the test? So they actually did a few experiments and then one of it was they tested people when they were teenagers, and then when they were 50 years old they test again, and 50% of them got different results. So and then there's also other experiments they did that people got different results and so psychologists say that researchers say that it's it doesn't score very well on test, retest, reliability because you get different stuff. But then I mean at the same time I guess it can change based on let's say we talk to people more recently while taking the test, maybe we'll become more extroverted during that period, or it could be related to our mood or something, I don't know. But yeah, the validity part is they say it doesn't measure our personalities very well, because it doesn't cover all the there's more than this range of personalities basically. So certain researchers say the Big 5 personality test, which is another one, is actually better because it covers more. But yeah, I wouldn't say I don't really know if something is better or not. I think maybe just measures different things.
So just to continue from what you say, reliability basically is how reliable the inventory or how reliable this test
It's
right?
more of how if you retest, if you
Does
take
it
the
give
test
the
again,
same-
does it give the same?
And validity basically means how is the test measuring what is intended to measure.
Yeah.
Just for
Yeah.
to get everybody on the same page.
This is why I like this podcast. There are a couple of Jungs and Freuds.
And of course, there are multiple personality theories, and they talk about whether personality is an ongoing thing or whether it's fixed in the first 5 years. I know Freud does that. So
Wait, okay, one more thing. So
Let's go. Talya.
actually they say the biggest flaw is actually the belief that personality traits don't change over time. So so studies show that there can be very large changes in personality over the years. For example, emotional stability, conscientiousness, agreeableness, and they don't measure these things in the MBTI test. So
So let me just
Yeah.
get this clear. The personality test, they don't believe in changes. They believe what you take then and there is your fixed personality. So they don't believe in variances like you just mentioned. That can change.
I'm not too sure
Okay.
but I think maybe that's what people are thinking as they take the test.
Okay.
But I think one very important thing to know that if you take this test, right, and you get INFP, INFJ, or whatever, it doesn't represent what you are in real life.
Exactly.
It's a rough gauge.
Yeah. It's just
Oh,
a
I
rough
think it's
gauge.
also your preferences, because when you answer the question, it's
Right.
Yeah.
it's what you self-report, it's what you think you are.
You know,
Yeah.
like if you're taking a test, let's say as a counselor, right, or to be a counselor, then there's certain questions where they ask you, are you affected by someone's when they are crying or what? Are you deeply affected by it? Obviously, as a counselor, you shouldn't be really affected by it, But once you are looking at the questions and then you think, oh, I need to answer, I'm not affected by it, but you're actually affected by it. These type of results will change
Interesting.
Interesting. Like socially acceptable answers or morally justifiable answers. Yeah. So we'll cover just very briefly about the Big Five. Big Five basically, this is acronym the OCEAN: openness, conscientiousness, extroversion, agreeableness, and neuroticism, right? But if you guys want to know more about other personality tests, you guys can leave in the comments, put in the suggestions. We will cover other tests like the Jordan Peterson, I believe there's one. We already call it MBTI. Big Five. Cover something called the MPI. It's a Minnesota Personality Inventory. About 500 questions.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think that one is for clinical use.
Yes,
right?
clinical use. If you want to know more, leave in the comment section.
Just wondering, because just now at the start you said that you found your career through your personality test. So like I'm wondering how, like, was it this MBTI test, and like how did it help you to find
it's
your
this
career?
particular 16 personality test. It helps me to get a rough gauge of what my qualities are. And I find it really very relatable. And I kind of hope it doesn't change because, I don't think, I think my this personality test results is
like
more
the rarity,
suitable. It's very suitable to be a counselor, I think. But it all depends on my own self lah. If I change, then I change.
I get it.
Oh, that's cool that it actually helped you find your career.
Okay. Wrapping up for this episode, we've covered about confidence, self-esteem. We have a guest on. We'd like to thank Ivan for coming on the show as our first guest.
Thank you.
Thanks, man. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
We wish Ivan all the best for his postgraduate
great host,
diploma. No, welcome. For all the best for his studies, and he'll be a great counselor in the future for sure.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
And that will be the end of episode 4. Also 4 of Time for Mental Health. Do leave a comment, subscribe, join our available channels on Discord, Twitter, Telegram.
Time for mental health.
And we'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye.
Bye.
See you guys.
See you.